I want to mention to you is that this class is going to be recorded. So as you type in your questions and I repeat them and then answer your questions, that'll be recorded as well. When the class is over, you'll be able to, I'll ask you whether or not you'd like a copy of it. If you would, then I'll ask for your email and we'll get that out to you. All right, so this is a beginner's class. The beginner's class assumes that you already have your data entry done, meaning it assumes that you've got your customers in the system, that you've got your groups and services with their prices and times set up in the system, that you've got your inventory in, you've got your staff with their schedules, etc. It's already assuming that. What this class is going to be covering is the proper way to book an appointment, unbook an appointment, reschedule an appointment, as well as doing standing appointments, as well as using both the week view and the day view screens in the appointment book. You learn about the month view screen in the advanced class, not in this beginner's class. After we're done with that, then we'll be moving into the point of sale, and we'll talk about the point of sale register, the proper way to process a sale, to apply a coupon, things like that. Finally, we're going to then cover commissions, the different ways to set up commissions in the system, the 3 different types of commissions that are available in the system, and there you go. Also, by the way, in the point of sale, we will also cover actually closing the drawer. Okay, so first things first, we're going to start with the appointment book. So there are 2 main types of appointment book in the system. There's the day view and the week view. The day view is simply gotten to by clicking on the book button. By left clicking on that book button, it takes me to my day view screen. The day view screen shows my staff members that are working today. Also any rooms or equipment, if you were a day spa, that may be available. But again, those staff members that are working today, that's my day view screen with their schedules. So this is for Wednesday, August 2nd, 2017, and these are many of my staff members. Now, it may not be all of them. You can see up to 31 columns on a single screen, and you can scroll through for more. Right now, I have my screen set up to show a total of 10 columns, and you can set yours up any way you like. As I said, up to 31 on a single screen before you can scroll through for others. Now, my day view screen is going to allow me to book an appointment on any single date. So this is for Wednesday, August 2nd, but using this left arrow and right arrow, I can change that date. So my little right arrow here, click, and now it's Thursday, August 3rd. Click again, Friday, August 4th, and I can use the left arrow now to go back Thursday, August 3rd, and back to Wednesday, August 2nd. I can also jump to any particular day by going to my calendar and choosing a specific day like Thursday the 17th, and accept, and now I'm looking at Thursday, August 17th, 2017. We'll go to my calendar and click today, and it takes me back to our current date, Wednesday, August 2nd, 2017. Okay, so that's the understanding of the day view. Now what we're going to do is book an appointment. The first thing we need to do to book an appointment is to pull up a customer, and we do that one of 2 different ways. Either a customer is already in our database or they're not. If they're already in our database, all we have to do is go to Client here and left click. By doing that, it pulls up my search window. Now I can look up by default by last name, or I can click here and look up by first name, or by telephone number, or even by swiping a membership card. By first name, by the way, can be turned into the default if you'd like. That's a simple preference setting. Now, once I have my client selection window up, I can either use these buttons, left and right here. If I was using a touch screen, that would be easy. I can also click on them with my mouse. But if I'm using a keyboard and mouse, it's probably easy just to type. So for instance, watch what happens when I type just the letter W and hit enter. Well, now I get every single client whose last name starts with W appears. And that can be a fairly lengthy list. So perhaps I do a little bit more, like W-I-G and enter. Now everybody whose last name starts with W-I-G appears, and it can be a much shorter list. Obviously, the more we put in, the shorter the list is going to be. Once we have found what we want, we click on the name of the person, and now their name appears in this field here. So that's one way to pull up a customer. What if they're not in the database? Well, then I can right-click. Instead of left-clicking, I right-click on that same client button, and now I can add somebody brand new. And all I need is their first and last name. That's all I need. However, I can put in first and last name, up to 3 different telephone numbers and an email, and accept that to add them to book the appointment. But I could also select more, and that will allow me to take a lot more information. So if I have an opportunity to chat with this customer, after I get their first and last name in, hit more and take a lot more information on them. Their entire client file will appear if you hit more. But simply adding now will put their name right up here like Margaret's already is. And now that we have a name, we're able to choose from one of our groups. Remember that your groups are user defined. That means you create them. So I'm going to select massage, for instance. Notice when I chose massage, everything shifted. Watch what happens when I choose waxing. Again, everything shifts. Why? Because only those people that work in the waxing group are going to appear when I choose waxing. If I choose nails, only the people who work in the nails group appear. And if I choose hair, only my people who work in the hair group appear. Now, Lesley, let me ask you a quick question. Well, first, do you have any questions on anything we've covered so far? Okay. Next, I'm going to ask, are you a salon or a spa, or both? Okay. All right. So then we are going to, I'm glad to hear that. So we are going to talk about rooms and equipment, not just booking standard appointments. So here I am in my hair group, and you just said you're a spa, so you probably don't do a whole lot of hair, if any. But what I do want to show you is the difference between single, double, and triple tiered booking. So we're going to start with single tiered booking, and so that's why I'm in my hair group. And I'm going to choose something like a blow dry and curl. So I've got my client, I've got my group, and I've got my service. Now I'm going to book with Abigail at noon. So under Abigail's name, I find the corresponding column for noon, 12 p.m. There's 12 p.m. So here's the corresponding column, or row, excuse me. This is her column. And I left click to block out the time that this appointment takes. So by left clicking on that 12 o'clock column or row, this blue button appears. Now I can right click inside of it and select what type of customers this is. If they don't care who they see, that would be a no type. If they said, I want to see Abigail, that would be a request. 90% of your bookings are going to be one of these two. Of course, you're going to have things like referred and bumpable. Bumpable, of course, is, like this is an appointment that can easily be bumped. Maybe it's Abigail's sister or best friend or something like that. So I'm going to go ahead and say that this is a request. This client asked for Abigail. So the appointment is booked. That's what we call single-tiered booking. Why is it single-tiered booking? Because all we did was book for the employee, nothing else. Now I'm going to try something else. I'm going to choose another customer. This time I'm going to go with, we'll choose Christina Echeverrin here. And I'm going to choose a new group. This time I'll go with my massage. And now I'm going to choose a new service. And this one is going to be a head 90. And I'm going to book that with Maureen at 12 o'clock. So under Maureen's column, I find the 12 o'clock row, left click to block out my time, right click to choose what type of customer she is. Perhaps she asked for Maureen, so this would be a request. And now it's asking me, what room is this service going to be performed in? And I'm going to choose the herbal room and accept. So Christina here is booked with Maureen in the herbal room. That's what we call two-tiered or double-tiered booking. So you're not just booking the employee, you're now booking the employee and a room. Next, we'll choose the customer. We'll go with Beth here. And I'm going to stay in my massage group, and I'm going to choose the Hot Stone 60, and I'm going to book that with Michelle at 12 o'clock. Left click to block out the time, right click to choose what type of customer she is, what room is being used, we'll say the elixir room this time, and what equipment is being used. I'll say the black stones. So now I've got Beth Gaines booked with Michelle in the Elixir room with the black stones. Sounds a little bit like a game of Clue. That is 3-tiered or triple-tiered booking. Do you have any questions on what I've just shown you? Okay. All right. So now that we've booked appointments and you've seen the way they're booked the different ways, and by the way, as I said, remember, this class assumes that you've already set up your groups and services with their prices and times. And because of that, when you set those up, you also choose what rooms they're performed in, what equipment is required for them, etc. So if you do laser hair removal or microdermabrasion or anything like that, those machines should be attached to different services and or rooms, okay? And that's when you attach those, then you are asked those types of questions that you just saw us ask when we did a 2-tiered or a 3-tiered booking. But now what we want to do is reschedule an appointment. So how do we go about rescheduling an appointment? Well, let's say that we jumped right into our appointment book. So here I am, and I can go to a group, like for instance, massage, so I can see quite a bit more. Or if I'm in all groups, which is our default, I can scroll through to see additional, just like so. And we'll go back using the arrows again to get back to where we were. Now, I want to reschedule this appointment. Margaret called and said, you know what, I can't make it at 12 o'clock. Is 2 o'clock available? Well, just a simple glance shows me that it is. So there's a couple of different ways to reschedule this appointment. The easiest, though, and the one I'm going to show you, is by simply checking this box, reschedule. By doing that, I have now activated my drag and drop feature. So now I can just drag this appointment and take it to 2 o'clock and release it. Grab it, take it to 11 o'clock and release. Grab it, take it to 1 o'clock and release. Super simple. Now, Margaret called and said she can't make it today. What other times does Abigail have available this week? Well, now we're going to talk a little bit about that week view. I'm going to select Abigail's name. I'm going to right-click on Abigail, and I'm going to select Go to Week View right there at the top. By doing this, I'm now looking at Abigail's schedule, nobody else's, just Abigail's schedule. And I'm looking at it for the next 2 weeks by default. And I can see up to 31 days on this, simply by using my little plus or minus. The plus sign will add days. I can see up to 31 at one time, as I said. The minus will remove days. And now I check that reschedule box again. And I can take this appointment and move it to 11 o'clock on Saturday the 5th, or move it to 1 o'clock on Tuesday, August 8th, or Friday, August 11th at 10 o'clock, or bring it right back to 12 o'clock today. So rescheduling appointments cannot be easier. And to get back to any particular date, I just choose the day I want to go to, right-click and select Go Today. And I'm right back on Wednesday, August 2nd, 2017. That's rescheduling an appointment. Any questions on rescheduling? All right. Then the next thing we're going to talk about is unbooking an appointment. And you know what? Actually, I apologize. Before we get to that, I want to show you one other thing regarding rescheduling. And that's rescheduling a service that has a room and or equipment. So I'm going to go to my massage group here. And this time I'm going to reschedule Chris's appointment from 12 o'clock to 11. So I just choose my reschedule. This is my head 90. I'm going to drag it up to 11 o'clock and release. It asks me what room. I choose the room and accept. Again, this time I'm going to reschedule the hot stone for Beth here, and I'm going to move that to 2 o'clock and release. What room and what equipment, and rescheduled. So when you are rescheduling, if there is a room or equipment associated with that service, you'll have to answer those questions again, because now that you're moving it to a different time, we need to make sure that those are available as well. Okay? All right, moving on. So now that we've talked about rescheduling, what about unbooking an appointment? Unbooking is really simple. We simply right-click on the appointment, on any appointment, and we have two options at the bottom, unbook and unbook all this day. Again, go to the appointment, right-click, unbook, or unbook all this day. Now, if I were to choose unbook, that will unbook this appointment for this customer. If I choose unbook all this day, that will unbook every appointment that that customer has that day. Of course, it won't affect any other customer's appointments. So don't let the words unbook all this day scare you. If I'm unbooking for Christina Echevarria here, it's not going to unbook Margaret Wiggins's or Teresa Saavedra. It will only unbook Christina's. And again, I can choose unbook to unbook just this one, but what if she has 3 or 4 different appointments today because she's got a package like a day of beauty or something like that? Then I can unbook all this day and all of her appointments will be unbooked, or one at a time by choosing this. So how does it look? I simply click on unbook. Are you sure you want to unbook this appointment? Yes. And the appointment is gone. Any questions on unbooking or rescheduling? All right. Okay, so moving on. The next thing we're going to talk about is standing appointments. Now, what is a standing appointment? All right, well, a standing appointment is something like you've got Kelly coming to see you, and she comes to see you every other Tuesday at 11 o'clock, and she's been doing it like clockwork. Every other Tuesday at 11 o'clock, that's when she gets her Swedish massage or her European facial or whatever it is. So we want to schedule that out so that that's booked for her into the future. And we can do that by selecting standing appointments. Now, we don't have to go into the appointment to get to standing appointments. I could have, from the main menu, selected appointments and selected standing appointments, and there it is again. I could also have done it from sales and gone to book appointments and chosen standing appointments, and there it is. And once again, as I said, in the appointment book, I can go to standing appointments, and there it is again. So how does it work? Well, let's start from our main menu here. I'm going to go to appointments, choose standing appointments. There's the standing appointments window. And now I'm going to choose a customer. So, well, I said Kelly, so let's do a Kelly. Let's find if we've got one. Good. All right, so I'm going to choose Kelly Malone here, and I am going to say that she would like to see Debbie. And she would like to get from Debbie a back facial. And she asked specifically for Debbie, so that's a request. Just like whenever we're booking an appointment, we choose their client type. Now, on what days does she want to see Debbie? Well, I'm going to say that she likes to come in every other Tuesday. So today's Wednesday, so her next appointment, I can use my plus and minus signs, plus signs to add days: Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. There I am, August 8th. I could have used my minus sign to go back as well. And now I'm going to go back to today. I could also jump by going to calendar and then choosing Tuesday the 8th and accept. So plus or minus to add or subtract days, or simply jump using the calendar. Now here I am, my starting appointment is going to be August 8th, 2017. And I said it was going to be at 11 o'clock. So Kelly Malone is booking with Debbie back facials starting on August 8th at 11 a.m. How often? Well, we said every other week. So not each week, but every 2 weeks. And how many visits? I can choose from 1 to 256 visits. Now understand, there's 52 weeks in a year. So if she's coming every other, and I did 256, that would be approximately 10 years worth of bookings. So maybe I do something like 12 bookings. So her last appointment will be January 9th, 2018. Now it's very important, the next step I'm about to show you. You must press this show button. And by doing that, what you're looking for is the status. If the status says okay, the appointment can be booked. So all 12 of these appointments, dating all the way to January 9th of 2018, all 12 of these appointments are okay to book because they all say okay. If for some reason, maybe the employee was going to be gone that day, they have a doctor's appointment already scheduled, or they already have an appointment scheduled at that time, or they are scheduled to be on vacation, whatever it may be, you would then have seen a couple of X's here. So for instance, October 31st, 2017 at 11 a.m., right now it's okay. But what if Debbie always takes Halloween off? Well, then there would be X's here. And if that was the case, we could highlight it and we could choose an alternate employee and choose an alternate time, or stick with the same time and just go with an alternate employee. But as long as they all say okay, I can go ahead and book it. So all I need to do is press the button that says book. Any rooms are required, we'll choose a room and accept. All of the appointments have been booked. It's that simple. So let's take a look. Let's go to the 8th. Go to calendar, go to August 8th and accept. And there we are on with Debbie, a back facial on Tuesday, August 8th. There it is at 11 o'clock. Worked just fine. So 2 weeks after that would be, if I'm not mistaken, the 22nd. So let's go check that out. Let's go to calendar and let's go to the 22nd and accept. So here I am on Tuesday, August 22nd. And there's Kelly Malone with the back facial at 11 o'clock with Debbie. That's how you book standing appointments. Now, I booked them out for 12 appointments every other week. That took me all the way to January 9th. However, in the standing appointments window, we also have this button that says auto standing. And the really neat thing about auto standing is I might only book 12 appointments, but if I have auto standing highlighted when I go ahead and book them, then each one that is used will add another one to the end. So Kelly will always be 12 appointments out in perpetuity. Any questions on that before we continue? Okay, moving on then. All right, so now the next thing we're going to be talking about is processing sales through the point of sale. Now, there are a couple of quick things that we need to make sure are done prior to processing sales. One of those things, setup, configuration, sales register, sales tax rates. So we put in our local tax rate for retail. And if you charge taxes on services, you must put in a tax rate for your services as well. Most places don't, some states do. So you put in those rates. That's going to be important when you're processing sales through the point of sale. Another thing that you need to make sure is your credit cards. Whether or not you process credit cards directly through the software, you still need to list what credit cards you accept so that your reporting will be accurate. So you're going to go to Setup, Configuration, Sales Register, Credit Cards Accepted. And now you're going to list what credit cards you accept. Visa, enter, MasterCard, enter, American Express, enter, etc. Okay? Once you've done that, we can start processing sales. Now, there's two ways to get a customer into, well, actually there's a lot more than that, but two main ways to get a customer into the point of sale for ticket. One way is doing it directly through the appointment book. So I can right-click on Margaret here and select Check Out, and it will automatically open up my register with Margaret's ticket already pre-filled. Margaret saw Abigail. She got a blow dry and curl for $50. We're ready to accept her payment. So let's clear that. Get out of that altogether. What if we're not in the appointment book? I could go to sales, and anyone who has an appointment with me today will be listed, like Margaret. Margaret saw Abigail for a blow dry and curl, $50. So now her ticket is filled in this way instead of taking her from the appointment book. Now notice, I just cleared that, notice that these three appointments that I have scheduled for today are out of alphabetical order. When you have it set up, in your preferences, you can choose what order this is going to be in, alphabetical or in order of checkout. Mine is in order of checkout. Tersa should be checking out first, followed by Margaret, followed by Beth. So as people come to the front desk to check out, they should be very easy to find. So Tersa saw Debbie, got an Anticur with haircut for $170. Let me clear that. And Beth Gaines saw Michelle, got a Hot Stone 60 for $60. And we're ready to accept payment. Okay, are we ready to accept payment? Well, I'm not sure. What if somebody didn't have an appointment with me and I wanted to sell them something? Well, if they're in my database, I just click on the clients button and now I can choose who they are. like Gemma here. And then I can click on services and see who they saw. They saw Debbie and got a back facial. More. So I can hit more here, and then I'm able to choose another person. Like, for instance, I could say they also saw, oops, let me hit more there, and say they also saw Lesley and got a French pedicure and last. So now I've got Gemma saw Debbie for a back facial for $65. She also saw Lesley for a French pedicure for $45. So now she owes me $110. That's another way to pull up somebody from the database. I mean, to sell something from somebody to somebody that's in your database. Excuse me. What if they are not in your database and they don't have an appointment? Then I can click on New and add somebody brand new. Again, if I have an opportunity to chat with this person, I hit More and take a lot more information. Or I could have just said OK. So I've got this new client in because I hit New. And once again, I can say that they saw a particular staff member and what it is they received. In this case, we'll go with the French pedicure. I can also say that they purchased some product. I can scan a product right now, and it will automatically fill in. Or I could type in a SKU number if I know what it is. Or I can click on my retail button, click search, and look up a product by name. And I just typed in the word oil, and every product that I have in the system that has the word oil in it is going to appear. I find what it is I want and choose who made the sale and last. So now Aisha here saw Lesley, got a French pedicure, and she saw Anna and was sold the Moroccan oil shine for $26. My local tax is put in, and perhaps I'm ready to go. But you know what? While she was here, she was upsold. She also saw Christian and received a full massage. Now she would like to leave a tip. I can choose gratuity and put a dollar amount in for Christian and accept, and then choose gratuity again and put a dollar amount in for Lesley and press accept. Or more commonly, I just apply a percentage and it'll do the math for me. So Christian's going to get $11.25, Lesley's going to get $6.75, and I've got my product sold. You'll learn about refunds in the advanced class. And now we're ready to accept payment. So we go to payment. And now I can accept payment in cash. If I put in an amount larger than this, then it will make my change for me. If I put in an amount less than this, then I can choose another form of payment. I can have an unlimited number of forms of payment until the amount tendered is the total amount or more. So yes, somebody can pay with cash and with check and with a credit card and with a gift certificate all on the same ticket if you wanted. So I select cash, I can put in an amount like 180, it'll make my change, etc. Or I could put in check, type in the amount that they're writing the check for, or hopefully it's the same amount that you've got here because they already have the gratuity in the ticket. As you can see there, they've already got the gratuity. So it should be for the exact amount. You just type in the check number. Or credit card. If you are processing directly through the software, it's going to look something like this. And you're able to click on it and you're able to stick your card into the chip reader or swipe it. If you are not processing directly through the software, then it's going to look more like this. And now you're going to choose what type of card they used. This way your reporting is accurate even though you are not processing directly through the software. You're swiping their card on a separate machine outside of the software. You can also accept gift certificates or gift cards as methods of payment. However, please note, you cannot accept a gift card or gift certificate in the software if you didn't sell it from the software. That way, the software is aware of it, knows who bought it, who they bought it for, what the value is, when it expires, etc. And yes, if somebody purchases online or using our app, you can even scan their smartphone to use the gift certificate right on their smartphone, or they could print it out via email from home as well. And of course, you could even have it associate with a hard card that you could either hand or mail to somebody. Other methods of payment include series. So this is what this 1, 2, 3, 4 is. What is a series? Well, let's say that you sell European facials for $50 each, and Gemma comes in every 2 weeks to get a European facial. Well, you know that if she gets 10 of them, she's going to owe you $500. And you say, you know what, I'm a little bit cash poor right now, so I'm going to sell her 10 of them for $400. She's going to get a discount, but instead of paying for them one at a time, she's paying $400 up front to get all 10. That's a series. And then if she owns a series, it will be listed. And it would say 8 of 10 remaining, 7 of 10 remaining, 6 of 10 remaining. Every time she uses one, it would reduce until she has used up all of her 10 European facials. Also, we have on account as another method of payment. On account allows you to reduce a deposit amount. So Aisha here could have given you $500 up front for a wedding party. And then she and a couple of friends come in and they get $230 worth of services, and you take it on account because they have already given you $500, and it will reduce the $500 by $230, leaving them with $270 on account. And then, of course, if you are part of a hotel or resort, you can charge directly to the room. I'm assuming you're not part of a hotel or resort, but if you are, please let me know. So we're just going to skip that for now. Then also we have traveler's checks. Same thing as accepting a personal check. You just type in a check number. However, it does separate the personal checks from the traveler's checks in your closing report. Finally, we have other here, which is your own unique methods of payment, whatever you want them to be. I've created one here called barter. So it's like trade. Your electrician came in, did some wiring, and you can write then in here something like free to the electrician. And this way you're still going to be able to pay your staff member their commission. You're still going to show that Aisha was your electrician and that you did $166.41 worth of services, et cetera, et cetera. But it's a different method of payment. You're not taking in cash or check or credit card. And then finally, the last thing, I already said finally for other, but the last thing here is points. You'll learn about the points program in the advanced class, but just very briefly, points are, think of points like airline miles. Your customers can earn points by getting discounts, and to use discounts or freebies. They can earn those points by buying services from you or by buying product from you or even giving you referrals. They can then turn around and use those points to get discounts or freebies on the services and or product that you offer, okay? And again, you'll learn about that in the advanced class if you've signed up to that. Okay, any questions on anything we've covered so far? All right, so I'm gonna go to payment and I'm going to go to cash here and I'm gonna say she's giving me $150 in cash and accept, and she still owes me $16.41. We're going to take that in credit card. We'll say a Visa and accept and accept. All done. Now, if I go to my client information, I don't have to, but if I do, her last name is Lesley, if I'm not mistaken. There she is. In the client file, I can go to history, and I can see that on August 2nd, 2017, Christian gave her a full massage, and Lesley gave her a French pedicure, and Anna sold her the Moroccan Shine Spray. Also, I can highlight any one of these because they're all part of the same transaction. Notice all same transaction numbers here. And I can view that transaction, and I can see everything, including the fact that she paid $150 in cash and $16.41 on Visa. All right. Now, there's a lot more to learn about the point of sale. Everything from doing coupons to refunds, as well as emailing receipts, printing receipts, duplicating receipts, adding transaction notes, etc. Much of that you learn in the advanced class. But in this class, I'm teaching you the basics of processing a sale. And now that we've done that, we're going to talk about closing the drawer. So let's just very, very quickly do a few more sales here. So we've got a little bit of information in our drawer. And now we'll process this sale as well. Just take it in cash. And then our last sale here, we'll also take that in cash. Okay. So now we're going to close our drawer. Our day has ended. Our last client has paid and left. And we go to register and we select close. Now the first thing it's going to do is ask us to make sure that we have had our paid ins and our paid outs done. That's really important so that our drawer is not over or short. So what exactly is a paid in and a paid out? Now you may not do them, and that's fine. If you don't do paid ins and paid outs, just go right to continue. But if you do them and you haven't kept a record of them, then your drawer is going to be over or short. So let's get a brief description here. First, what's a paid out? Well, let's say that I, Matt, am the front desk guy, and Lesley is my boss. And Lesley walks up to me, and she says, hey, Matt, give me $20 out of the drawer. I'm going to go get some coffee. Okay, hey, she's the boss. Who am I to say no to her? So I pop the drawer open. I take a $20 bill out, and I hand it to her. Well, guess what? My drawer is going to be $20 short. When I do my closing and I go through my deposit and my float, my drawer is going to be off by $20 because I have no reason why that $20 has vanished. That's a paid out. So we do that by going to register, paid out. And then I could type in a brief description like Lesley for coffee and then my amount, $20. And I can post it and open the drawer and then exit. Now I've done a paid out. By doing the paid out, you've now created a transaction for that $20. So now it's not magic anymore. The software knows that $20 has left. Therefore, you won't be short $20. Now a few days go by and Lesley walks up to the front desk and she hands me a $20 bill. And she says, put that back in the drawer. That's the 20 I borrowed a couple of days ago. Well, okay, no problem. But again, when I go through my process of closing, my drawer is going to be over $20. And I can't have that. That's a paid in. Register, paid in. Rachel paid back or Lesley paid back money, $20. Post and open the drawer, stick the $20 back in. And after I've posted, I can hit exit and I'm done. My paid ins and my paid outs are done. So that's what it tells you first. When we go to register and close, it's saying, hey, did you do your paid ins and paid outs? You did, or you didn't do any today because none of them were necessary? Great, now we can continue. Now it wants to know the float amount. This is the amount of money you're going to leave in the drawer. And normally it would be the same amount that you left in the drawer yesterday. So my float, I said, is going to be $50. This is what I'm going to start tomorrow with and accept. So I brought in $430 in cash today and $16.41 in credit card. There could be other credit cards, there could have been checks, there could have been traveler's checks, etc. But my total deposit is going to be $446.41, $16.41 in Visa, $430 in cash. Now, that also means that there was actually $496.41 in there. Why? Because I started the day with $50, just like I will tomorrow. So by leaving $50 in my drawer, $446.41 is coming out. And accept. And now my money in my drawer is $50. My final register total is $50. Therefore, my over short is perfect. I'm not over, I'm not short. My beginning register was $50. My cash receipts, $446.41. Total deposits, $446.41. And my expected total remaining $50 because my beginning register was $50. So now I can see actual cash money, $430. Checks, 0. Credit cards, $16.41. Traveler's checks, 0. Now you might look down here and say, wait a minute. It said cash was $446. No, it says cash receipts. cash money is this one, 430. But all of these make up cash receipts, cash check, credit cards, traveler's checks. The ones that don't are gift certificates, on account, series sale, etc. This is the money that came in today. So now I've got my information here, my totals, any voids that I may have done, what my total deposits are, and what my sales breakdown was. I did $400 in services, $26 in retail, $2.41 in sales tax. This is my closing report for my drawer. And I can accept this, or I can print it, which does the same thing as accept, but it also prints, or I can cancel. And I'm going to go ahead and accept. Any questions on closing the drawer before I continue? All right. No questions there. So the next thing we're going to do is talk about setting up commissions. Now, there are 3 different types of commissions in the software. And I'm going to go to payroll. And that'll take me to my professional salon payroll system. And I can now go to employees. And I can select add new. And this is where I'm going to put my employees in. Now I've already got 9 in. How do I know? Because my next employee number is 10. So I've already added 9. And if I go to employees, view modify, I'll see those 9 that I've already added. Once I have my employees in, then I can set up their commissions. Commission schedules, sliding commissions, commission rates, service rates, retail rates, dollar amounts, back bar charges, cashier rates, etc. So first, let's talk about sliding scale. So we're going to go from employees to commission schedules to sliding commissions to add, modify tables. Click. Now I can choose one of my employees, like Abigail. And I can say in service sales from $0 to $500, she's going to get 35%. From $500 and a penny to $1,000, she's going to get 40%. From $1,000 and a penny to $1,500, 45%. Let's do one more here. We'll say from $1,500 and a penny to $2,500, she's going to get 50%. Real simple. I can have up to 6 different scales for my services. Then I can come down to retail and do it all over again and set up a completely different breakdown for retail. From $1 to $250, she gets 10%. From $250 and a penny to $500, she gets 12%, etc. These are sliding scales. And once we've set them up, we can press save and move on to the next employee. Or what if I don't want to do sliding scale? I want to do a standard percentage, which is most common. So I'm going to go to employees and I'm going to go to my commission rates and I'll go to my service rates. I can now choose an employee like Abigail. I can now say for every service, she gets 45% and accept. I could do that. Or I could go and say individually, Abigail, she gets 45% on most things, so I hit the 45 and accept on all services. But now I can go to specific things like a back facial and say, but on this, she gets 47%. And we'll say that when she does a Brazilian wax, she gets 65%. But on everything else, she gets 45. So I just saved myself a little bit of time by assigning everything to 45 and then changing just the few individuals that she had. That's one way to do it. I could also choose another employee like Debbie and say that I would like to, for all services, make the same as Abigail and accept. By doing that, Debbie's going to get exactly the same rates that Abigail was assigned. It's just a fast way to do it, if they're the same. Another type of commission, employees, commission rates, dollar amounts. This is based now on dollar amounts rather than percentages. So I can choose Abigail, and I can say that when she does a back facial, she gets $32.50. When she does a chest wax, she gets $22. So I'm putting in dollar amounts now. Why would you do that? A lot of consultants think that it's a good idea because let's say that you charge $50 for a service and you give $25 to the provider. That's 50%. Well, sure it is. But what if you raise your prices? If your employee is on percentages and you raise that $50 to $60, your employee just got a raise to $30 for that service because they're on 50%. But by being on a dollar amount, they agreed to 25% for that service. If you raise your price, $25 for that service. If you raise your price from 50 to 60, they'll still get $25. Maybe the reason that you increased your price has nothing to do with them. Your rent has gone up, your electricity has gone up, the products that are required to do that service have gone up, etc. So maybe that's why you raised your prices. It's got nothing to do with them. They still make the same amount of money that they did before. Of course, if they're on a percentage, they just got an automatic raise. Now, don't get me wrong. Most places still go with percentages, but now you have that option. And so that's dollar amount percentage commissions. You can also, by going to commission rates, set up retail. So I could choose someone like Abigail and say that when Abigail sells a conditioner, she gets 12%. But when she sells foot care, she gets 15%. So I can go through all of my different categories of products and assign different percentages to them. Or I could just go to all categories and put in the percentage that she gets for everything. I can also, under commission rates, set up my back bar charges. What is back bar charge? If you don't know, what it means is that the amount that it costs the spa to do a particular service. So for instance, Abigail does a Brazilian wax. And what we've said is that it costs 10% to the spa before Abigail gets her commission. That means it's going to reduce her commission, give her less based on that. I put in a percentage. You could have put in a dollar amount. So for instance, when Abigail does an eyebrow wax, we're going to charge her $1 and not a percent anymore. And accept. So when she does an eyebrow wax, she gets charged $1. So that gets taken off of her commission before her commission is paid. So all of those different types of things that are available to you. Once you have set up commissions, then you can go to reports, sales, operator reports, commission reports, and all of your different commission reports will be listed here. And which report gives you the accurate information is going to be based on what commissions you've set up for your for your staff. Okay? If you haven't set up dollar amount, don't run a dollar amount report. If you've got everybody set up on sliding scale, don't pull up a percentage report. Go to your sliding scale reports, with or without back bar. So again, based on what commissions you've set up, that's going to determine what report you would like to run. There's lots of different reports for the different types of commissions that have been set up. I recommend playing with them to make sure that you understand exactly what it is you're looking at. Okay? All right. Any questions before I let you go? Because that is the beginner's class. Do you have any questions for me at all on anything we covered today? Was there something you were hoping I was going to cover that I didn't? And finally, would you like this video emailed to you? Lesley, I'm still waiting on your response. Okay. Okay. You would like the video sent. Okay, and what email address would you like that sent to? Okay, so I see what you wrote there. GalvanLesley@gmail.com. And I'm going to go ahead and email that to you. You'll probably have it within the next 2 hours. Any questions for me at all? Oh, you already answered that question. All right, Lesley, have a wonderful day. And thank you so much for spending time with me today. The people who like the software the most are the people who know the most about it. So I really do appreciate the fact that you took time. Take care. Bye-bye.